Right, Ola has messaged me on Facebook and said he has an issue with his preheat, which is when it's 100% and he turns the preheat on in the morning, the car will draw the power from his house, plugged into his wall charger or plugged into the trickle charger, but obviously it doesn't quite have enough power, so it takes it from the battery and the mains. But anyway, it plugged into his wall charger on his house, it takes it from his house and maintains the battery charge. What he does get, if it's at 80% and he turns on the preheat, it doesn't draw from the house at all. It only draws from the battery. So I'm going to go and test this out. Okay, I'm at 67%. And it's currently reading 381 watts. So I am going to turn on the climate control. Pressing that button there. And then wait for Nissan. Okay. Control is off. Let's start it. Okay, let's try again. Start. What's it doing? There we go. Now it's starting. And I am watching that thing there. Which at the moment 338 still. Oh, it says it's on now. So that's interesting. It says it's on. Let's see what we're reading. And this is what you got to deal with when you're making videos. Look, you wait there, and I will sort that out in a second. Right, so we got so it's definitely running on heat on the home electricity. Definitely. So I'm not sure why that issue is he's getting that, but let's turn that off now, and that answers that question. And I'm not sure if you can see that. There's a patch there. That's terrible buffing. I've done a terrible job of buffing that left-hand side in, trying to hurry it yesterday. Sort of a cloudy patch in the way that you can see. But it's not fogging up anyway. It's nice and clear, and the back window hasn't fogged up either. You can see that, which you can't really. So I need to buff that again. Okay, so the people that were next to me are called Stock Sweepers. They make sweeping trucks, big old beasts of trucks that sweep the roads. You'll hear them around your area. Most councils have them. They refurb them. So if there's anybody watching these who wants to, who was thinking of getting a sweeper truck for your line of business, they refurb them. So they either put a new chassis on, so it's like a new truck, and then they use the old kit, refurb it all, put it back on, and it's a fraction of the cost of a brand new one. Or they're refurb using the old truck, etc, etc. They do anything pretty much. I've spoken to Jeff, who owns it, a couple of times, and they're going to borrow my Leaf for a couple of days to see how they get on with it, because it could save them a fortune, especially if they lease it for the 209 plus VAT like I'm leasing mine for. They come from Chepstow down to Mitcheldean, so it's a fair old trek, and it's well within the range of this Leaf, as long as they charge it work. Oh, it's probably in the range anyway, to be fair. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how that all goes and all pans out. So they're going to borrow that today, so should have some feedback on what they think of it and how it works for them. They got a longer commute, much longer commute than me, so watch this space. Now, if like me you're lending your car to someone, you might want to delete your phone history. If you press that button there, it takes the phone, call history, there is no apparent way to delete it. But if you go to menu, then go to settings, phone and car wings, phone, delete phone information, and then you've got call history. And then you can delete by the list, or delete one, or delete all. So I shall say delete all call logs. Yes, all logs deleted. Now, apparently that put me in a position where if I press this button again, there is no call history. As you can see, it is greyed out. So that's the answer to that one. Bye. Okay, the preheat was on. Got in the car, it's been raining, etc. It is clean as a whistle. And no back window, don't know if you can see out there even. Back window's not misted up, this isn't misted up, nothing's misted up. So it's all good. It's all really, really good. Nothing is misted up. And that's with the preheat on, so off I go home. That out there is fields which are flooded. Don't know if you can make them out. That is the type of weather we're getting. Floods, floods, floods. 11 degrees out there. It's gone from a real dry, one of the driest months on record or something in October, and now November we're going to be headed for one of the most wettest, which is absolutely crazy. So I'm just leaving the in-laws and look what you see there. We're in Lydney and it's a Nissan Leaf. Nissan Leaf. Can't see a charge on the outside, but that's pretty cool. That's a couple of us. I don't know if that's someone visiting or it is actually the owner, but that's another one in Lydney. Getting so common, this is. Common as mutt, these cars. So that is literally turned out the bottom of in-laws road. Turn right. There was the Leaf parked there. Probably someone visiting them, I suspect, unless they're on another test drive, which could be, I suppose, someone else. But yeah, interesting. Different reg than the one I saw last week, pretty sure it is. I will check the video back and have a little look. Can you see that fogging on the windows? Now, an interesting thing is, I haven't treated the side windows, by the way. An interesting thing is, we went to a hand car wash. You know, the typical ones that someone actually washes your car for you. And we queued up for probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes, had the car on the whole time, and it didn't fog up. Which is interesting. As soon as they started washing it, it did. It started to mist up. Nothing had changed. We hadn't got out the car. Doors weren't open. Nothing like that. So it says to me, there must be moisture getting in here somewhere in our Nissan Leafs, because I know from people that have written to me, they're not the only one that gets this sort of issue, but I've assumed it's because when you get in the car it heats up because it's colder outside or whatever, and it steams up. But it started to steam up just like that when they were washing it. Nothing had changed. Temperature was set at 21 degrees. It's currently set at 22, but yeah. So it must get in somewhere. It draws it in from somewhere, whether it gets into the cooling system or the heating system, as it was on at the time, and drags some moisture through, or it actually seeps in somewhere, I don't know. But I know we're sat in the car for 25 minutes with no misting at all, just sat there waiting, and then as soon as they started washing it, within a minute, it started to get that sort of reaction. So it must be getting in somewhere. Bye. Pretty confident that Leaf in Lydney was different to the one before. I think the one I was following before was a Tecna, and that one I just filmed was an Essentia. So they are getting pretty common now. It's amazing, this journey from January up until now. I mean, January, February, March, April of this year, we see any at all. Started seeing them 5 or 6 months later. So they are starting, people are starting to clock on by the seams of things, depending on what the story is behind that one parked there. Could be another demo, it might not actually be bought, or it could just be someone visiting. But I've seen one now, it's the second weekend in a row I've seen another one. Cool.